Good morning, good evening, good night. For those of you who are joining, it's Dr. Lana here, and we are talking money. Part 2, episode 12 of the joys and struggles of being a family caregiver, but taking care of yourself first, putting your oxygen mask on, and all that comes with family caregiving, but ensuring that you do you first. So, we're going to talk about money today and drafting your personal payment plan for your services. Yes, definitely. How can you do that? What are some practical ways you can do it? Who can you talk to? We already discussed that you do deserve, and there's lots of money in family caregiving. But how do you draft it? Because there's so many emotions that come with family caregiving. What are you going to do? How are you going to get it done? Who are you going to talk to? How are you going to have the meeting? How are you going to structure the meeting? What are you actually going to write down? So, welcome back. Part 2, we're talking drafting a payment plan, blah, 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 payment plan for you as a family caregiver. Dr. Lana here, gerontologist, specialist, but with a passion for family caregivers and all that comes with family caregiving. It is a journey, it is a labor of love, but it does take a lot of effort. It is a heroic journey. It is a journey like no other. It can carry its ups and it's got its downs. True. And many times you get lost as family caregiver in the role that you're playing. So this channel aims to, my intention is to put all those things together, to kind of like stack the good things. Stack you first, oxygen mask first. Take care of yourself first, you can take care of everybody else. And one of those things is money. Let's be frank, it takes money to manage your household. It takes money to pay for the cost of your loved one. And if you're in family caregiving, you know that costs go up every single year. There's costs for normal housing, there's costs for the general bills, medical expenses, especially if the person has got an illness or if they're disabled. How are you going to get that done? Many times you're the only family, you're the only person, true? Or you're the main person and everyone else is depending on you. Well, the statistics are astounding, let's just say. And today we're going to talk in part 2 how you actually can draft a payment plan to not only, it's not that you want to say, well, I'm doing this work, so give me the money. No. Mm-mm. It is, you're doing a work of value. You're doing a work that requires, if you were doing this as a job, you'd be paid. It's not, oh, it's family, so I can't be paid. I shouldn't ask for money. How are you going to live? How are you going to pay for those bills? How your loved one's expense is going to meet the demands that are going to come. How are you going to get savings for when you get older? These are the realities. Now, just disclaimer, this I'm not a financial advisor, but I do see in my own experience as a caregiver and hearing stories of so many caregivers and seeing so many, let's say, earlier disasters when it comes to money, that you need to know what to do so that you're not out to sea crashing in debt and then not knowing where the next meal, money, bill payment is going to come from, and taking exorbitant loans that you may never be able to repay and will take a toll on your health. So let's just do some statistics, reminders of what we talked about the last time to just show that family caregiving, it requires money. I don't even know how to say that a different way. So whatever your experiences are, any questions you have, any things that come up, how do you manage your finances? Let's talk. So the American Association of Retired Persons, AARP. This is where I got the majority of the resources. And you can find a lot of resources online, very credible resources. Um, in order, and each country is going to have a different way of doing it. So I'm not here to just say that there's one way to do it, but to say that there is a standardized way that you can get put together, draft a plan so it looks one professional, organized, and you show you're serious. That your work needs to be valued. It is valuable. It is a lot of work, day and night. And if you work, it can seem to be 36 hours in a day and you just can't keep up. So, the American Association of Retired Persons has shown that of the 48 million, think of this, are family caregivers persons. Of that 48 million, how many are paid? That's 48 million unpaid. So no compensation for services, no compensation for travel expenses, just basic medical bills, to buy garbage bags, to buy cat food, to buy dog food, to buy nutritious items for yourself, to take care of the person you're taking care of, whether that's an older relative or a spouse. All the emotions that go into money, I understand. You know, the money is one of the great dividers and not uniters, it has been said, but the dollar bill don't know the difference. So it is our attitude towards money that will determine how we approach it and how we learn from it. So 48 million. How much people, how much money is spent? $470 billion a year. That's how much it costs. That's how much it costs. And that's just the US statistics. Imagine that worldwide. Multiply that if there's no plan. 60% are females. 30% of persons stop saving their own money. And welcome to all of you who are in the chat. And please leave in the chat below what you think is your greatest challenge when it comes to money and being the family caregiver. I'd love to hear your comments because as we share, we learn from each other. So feel free. This is an open forum for you to share. So let's work out with all that money going on and a new statistic about 2021, $7,200. This is US. You can multiply that in your own currency per year. Is spent is spent by caregivers. That's out of pocket. Who has spare $7,000 to spend? Who has that to spend every single year? No, I don't know who does. And that's just for basic things. So let's talk about the plan, shall we? First, just is a 5 or 6 stepwise plan, so you can write it down. And we're not talking about the government supplied or the stipend supplied community based money programs. We're talking of your personal program right now, informal though it may be, you can still draft it professionally. Next time, we will talk in part 3 about the formal payment plans. So, part 1, assess the need of the person you're taking care of. If it is a spouse, if it's someone with a disability, if it is someone who has dementia, what's the cost? What's the need that they have? Do they need 24-hour care? Do they need assistance, home help? Do they need to be monitored 24 hours a day? Or do they just need assistance in and going to the bathroom, or maybe just leave their meals there so that they're not home all day? Do they need supervision all day? Do they need to be carried to and fro to the bathroom? Assess that. That's assess the need. Now, and the cost that comes with that. Assess how many doctor visits are usually planned. So whether it's from head to toe, is it the eye specialist? Do they have diabetes? Do they have to get their feet checked? Do they have to go to the general doctor to get general checkups every year? And how much does that cost? Break it all down, ask all the specialists, seek the cost, and then per month, and then you can work out per annum what that will be and write that down. So that's in your next section. You assess the need, that's not, and that's to do with the doctors and that money. What daily assistance will be needed? Again, as we said, does the person need home help? And what the extent of that help will be? Is it sweeping? Is it cooking? Is it just spending time? I know some relatives who hire someone to just spend time with the person with dementia, and that person is paid, and they just chat with the older person, give them company, keep company. COVID has restricted and isolated us so much, especially the older ones. And the dementia has just progressed. And with so many older persons, obviously, there are going to be so many more caregivers. So, do you need assistance, and do you need that person all day? Do you need them 3 days a week? What do you need? And that's part of your plan. So, the need of the person, the in terms of medical and non-medical. What budget do you have for goods and services? So, would you want to go to the supermarket, or would you want to have goods delivered? And how much will that cost? And how much does that cost per month? And this is just basic. You're going to have to also put an emergency fund. Let's say you want to put, we're talking US currency, say you want to put $200, $100. What will an emergency cost? What can it likely cost if there's an emergency? And put that aside. That's the third one. So, and the fourth, so that's goods and services. So do you want goods delivered? Do you want medication delivered? Will that save you time if you're a working caregiver? Will that save you time if things get delivered? But if it saves you time, it's going to cost money. And how much money does that cost? What kind of a stipend would you want to have? How much out of pocket money are you presently spending? Is that good enough for you? Do you think that you need a percentage of that, or would you need just to keep you afloat and to take care of your loved one? How much would you actually need to supplant that, to stipend, to add to your out of pocket money? And we're adding all the budgets, all the emergencies, all the additional costs, all the in and out of care costs, as in home care and out of home care costs. What are your travel expenses? Do you have to take that person to the doctor? Do you have to hire some person to go to the doctor? Do you physically have to make the doctor visits? Well, generally, you do, because if you're going to the doctor, they're not going, unless it's written, it's going to be a very personalized visit, and you need to be aware of it. So generally, you're the one who's going to make the doctor visits. That's taking time out from work. Will you always have that time? Can you have another family member maybe who can go? Or if not, can you hire a professional who can go take notes, the doctor's permission? How much is that going to cost? Do you have health insurance? Do you have emergency health insurance? Many insurance companies now have become more reasonable, I think, not less reasonable, in understanding that insurance for older persons has got to be there. And if they have chronic illnesses from previously, or they have a disability, or dementia has come in, there's usually, you can speak to your insurance broker, but generally speaking, from what my research has shown, is you can have an insurance person who can let you know what is available to you, what resources you can use from the insurance company, whether it comes to just an emergency fund, a backup, or a supplement to your payment, your plan that you would have had from before. Is it just a small annuity? Is it a small stipend? What can your insurance company offer you based on your need, based on your budgets, based on what you need for goods and services and medical expenses? So that would be it. Remember, you can do this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, including Sundays. You're going to need, if you are at work, You would apply for a vacation leave. In caregiving, it's called respite care. So when you need to take that time away, who are the persons, whether it's relatives or an official person, a group that offers that services, do you find them through your local community hub, through friends and family who may have done it before, or can you have a family member who may be less busy or maybe retired and can come and spend that time, or a family friend who you trust and you can that can give you, let's say, generally advice actually is 30 days a minimum per year of respite care. So that's 2 weeks a year. And that's the average vacation. Some people get 4 weeks, some people get 6 weeks. You determine how much you need and also how that will be paid to you. Now comes the hard part. Who are you meeting with? Some, yes, have if it's spouse, it's just you, but spouses have family, you got in-laws, you have your own family. If it is just you were the single child, well, they're extended family members, friends, and other relatives can come together. So the rub really is, how do you meet up with everybody and present and discuss the payment package support system for you, and can that be done by relatives who may be overseas and may be able to send money back? That happens a lot in Barbados, where I'm from. Persons go overseas and they have a close family unit, and what those overseas do is provide a stipend for the person who's doing the main caregiving, whether that person is full-time working or part-time working. And or they may supply goods and services, they may supply food, one may decide, I'm going to cook for you today. You don't have to do that. Now, you're not taking your care plan and you're saying, okay, I drafted this up, here's what you're going to do, here's what you're going to do, and I need $400 from you, and I need $500 from Mary, and I need this. That's not going to go down well. Everybody's going to be out the door. They're not even going to come to the meeting. Gently approach, because remember, you feel, if you're feeling burnt out, you may not even have thought that you could have been paid as a family caregiver. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And here's how. So you've drafted it professionally, according to need, according to your budget, according to the stipend you need, travel allowances, expenses, emergencies, the bills that have to be paid, the days of respite care, who's going to come, whether you want services delivered, and you have a meeting and say, well, call around, just say, I'd like to have a meeting. Please, this is mom, this is dad. If it's in-laws, this is your son, mother-in-law, or father-in-law, or whoever. Please assist. Let's have a meeting. I'm the main caregiver. I can't, I'm at my wit's end. Or before you get to your wit's end, ideally, yes, I, I would like to draft with your consent and your input. It's all about how you say it. With your consent and your input, here's what I've assessed mom or dad needs. Here's the cost. And how can we furnish this cost? So you've drafted the idea, the outline of the payment plan, and you're encouraging them to see it costs. And you're not dictating that they pay you money. You're just trying to, like, even the burden, even the what do I want to say? Meet in the middle. Meet in the middle. So that it's not just you. Hope you found this helpful. Draft your personal payment plan. Know what you want to do. Know what your cost is, and gently, or make a list of persons that you know. Make a list of family members, and ask for a meeting. Those who don't want to come, that's okay, because everyone, it's a process, and in time it will come. But we have to start talking money, because money goes faster than it comes. True. If you found this helpful, this was great talking to you. Money is something that we must talk about. caregiving is a long-term process. It's a long road. It's not a one-off thing, especially when there's illness. It's not a one-off thing. So if you found this helpful, and you've made your list, by all means, can uh, subscribe, join, press the notification bell for more updates. Next week, we're going to be talking part 3, the formal resources that you can use. What do you have in your community? What can government assist? But right now, we want you to be able to feel empowered. It's about empowerment. Feel empowered, gather all the family members together, discuss your needs, discuss it with everyone so everyone feels involved, and make a plan so that you get to take care of you while you're also taking care of everyone else. Take the cape off and just draft a plan that works for that can work for you, and you be compensated for the work that you do. Is valued. So love chatting with you. This has been wonderful. If you have questions, leave them down below. I comment on every comment you make. I make a note of any questions you have. I will research if I do not know the answers. I said I'm a doctor, I'm not a financial advisor, but we gotta talk money. We let's be real. So if you found it helpful, like, subscribe, press the notification bell, and I'll see you next week, same time, 7:30 Atlantic Standard Time, 6:30 Eastern Time. This was a wonderful chat. I love the engagement, and I want you to always remember oxygen mask first, take care of yourself, and you can take care of everyone else. Until then, care happy and care healthy and care for yourself. Bye bye.